Chapter 9, Mishnah 11. The Mishnah turns to a new subject. The Torah states that a worker must be paid right after he finishes his work. An employer who pays his worker late transgresses a prohibition. This Mishnah discusses what is considered late for various types of workers with regard to this law. Someone who is hired to work for an entire day and finishes at sunset collects his wages during the entire night that follows, i.e., that night is the proper time for him to be paid. If the employer does not pay him before dawn, the employer transgresses the Torah's command to pay a worker on time. Someone who is hired to work for an entire night and finishes at dawn collects his wages during the entire day that follows, i.e., that day is the proper time for him to be paid. If the employer does not pay him before sunset, the employer transgresses the Torah's command. Someone who is hired for only a few hours must be paid based on when he finishes working. If he finishes during the night, he collects his wages that entire night, i.e., he must be paid before dawn. And if he finishes work during the day, he collects his wages that entire day, i.e., he must be paid before sunset. The Mishnah discusses when to pay workers who work for longer periods of time. In the case of someone hired to work for a week, someone hired for a month, someone hired for a year, or someone hired for a 7-year period, the law is as follows. If he finished his work during the day, he collects his wages anytime during that entire day. He must be paid before sunset. If he finished his work at night, he collects his wages anytime during that entire night and the entire next day, i.e., he must be paid before the next sunset.